Okay, so you know the score. Let's start with our hands on our hips, one foot slightly behind the other, and you're rolling on the top of your foot. So you're stretching out your toes. Okay, and then change direction. Do some the other way. Good. And then swap feet. So the other foot comes behind, rolling onto the top of your toes. And don't be afraid to press down a little bit. Put a little bit of downward pressure. Even if the toes are feeling a bit achy this morning, change direction. This is just going to set you up, set you, your body, your mind up so wonderfully for today. And I think when we practice early in the morning, for me personally, okay, so just shake it out of your legs a little bit. For me personally, when we practice early in the morning, it informs the choices that I make during the day in so many ways. It really, really does. It informs what I eat. It informs how I deal with the kids, you know, all of that sort of thing. So big toes together, outside edges of the feet parallel, bending the knees, and we're twirling just the knees in circles now. Okay, so looking down at your feet, not worrying so much about our form at the moment. We're just looking. We're looking to explore spaces, create movement, open up joints. Okay, change direction. Lovely stuff. Good job. Okay, so come up to stand. Make sure that your feet are together so your thighs can touch. Squeeze the inner thighs together, then send the front of the hips forward and lift the front of the heart up. So as you go forwards with this part of the hips, lift up here and then link your fingers so that your palms can touch and reach the hands up above your head. Now, as though you're hugging the sides of your head with your upper arms, okay? So squeeze the inner thighs together, send the front of the hips forwards, lift the heart up and reach the knuckles up towards the ceiling as you put space and length all the way through the front of your body. And then gently lower, come back down, place the hands back onto the knees, and now you are twirling your hips, twirling your tailbone in a circle behind you. Okay, so go more slowly with this. Try to refine it. Become more aware of the shape that you are drawing. And thinking about how the sides of the waist feel, maybe the outer hip region, a little bit of lift to the belly at the front of, on the front of your body. Okay, and then we're going to pause and go the other way. So no break in between. So keep going. Well done. 2 more circles. Excellent. And then come back up. Okay, link the fingers together. The heel of the hands are touching. Reach the arms up. Send the hips forwards. Lift the sternum. Lift the front of the heart. Look up towards your hands. Reach up. And then gently come back down. You can leave the hands together like this. You're going to pump the forearms up and down. Pump the wrists. See how this feels, maybe in your shoulders. But make sure there is this circular movement. It doesn't have to be as fast as I'm going. You can slow it down to your own comfortable measure. But this in itself is a great way of keeping the wrist joints lubricated, because remember, in this practice, we're so often on the hands that it becomes important that we've got this awareness into the wrists already. So let's swing the arms out. Okay. And we'll take the hands behind the back this time, link the fingers again. So this link of the fingers is quite a common position, because remember this for when we go the other way in a minute. And I want you to gently roll the heel of the hands towards each other, please. I want you to puff your chest up, so lift your chest up, bring your chin towards your chest, and then maybe lift your hands away from the back of your body. They don't have to come very far, and you're certainly not straining your hands, but keep the chest lifted, but the chin forwards. And this is important as we just open up the shoulders and the back of the neck. And then gently release the hands, bring them back in front of you. So you've got your automatic cross of the fingers, which feels natural. Change it. So move the cross of the fingers along one so it feels weird, and then go back to pumping the wrists up and down. Welcome everyone, welcome those of you that are just joining us. If you've only just done this, got into this bit with your wrists, then do find a little opportunity in a minute to do it the other way, okay? So pumping the forearms up and down, elbows up fairly high in front of you. Good. And then release, swing it out again. And we'll do the same thing, but we will cross the fingers the other way. So you've got your automatic go-to position, move the fingers along one. See if you can bring the heel of the hands together, but if you can't, don't force it. I want you to puff the chest up. So really lift up, chin towards the chest, lengthen the arms, and that might be the stretch. If you can take the hands away from the body, do it. If you can lift them up high, do it, but don't overstrain. And certainly don't force the body, but keep lifting the chest, keeping the legs nice and firm, feet into the ground, chin towards the chest. And just notice how that stretches the top of the shoulders, maybe the back of the neck. It's a really nice feeling. Good, then release the arms and bring both arms up in front of you, or sorry, above your head. You're going to take one arm forwards, the other arm backwards. If you're new to doing this, just start one arm at a time, okay? So go backwards with one arm until that becomes normal, and then go forwards with the other arm, okay? But if you're a pro at this, if you've been doing this for a while, then you can start with your arms in the air and just have one going forwards, one going backwards. Notice the sides of the waist are moving a little bit here. So let your body be soft, let the body sway a little bit side to side. And don't worry if both of them end up going forwards or both end up going backwards. Okay, and then we're going to swing it out. Just take little swings from side to side. Make sure you've got plenty of space. You're not going to hit your hands onto the wall or onto the furniture. Let your head turn, let your spine turn. And if you've got no other time, haven't got time to do this whole sequence, which only takes about 10 minutes to do, but if you need to get a little bit of a pick-me-up, you're feeling a bit blah, your spine's hurting, back's hurting, that kind of thing, then this is got to be your go-to, okay? Because it is so uplifting, it moves all the body fluids around, it's getting you standing on your feet, balancing, working your joints all the way up from the floor, all the way up to the top of your head. And there's something quite freeing. The spine really loves to rotate. And this is you doing this in a really productive way. Okay, so a couple more turns and then slow it down. So we're going to come back to doing this in just a minute. So we're going to take the arms up again, and whichever arm went backwards, it's now going to go forwards. And you're going to repeat the same movement, but with the arms going the other way. So remember, do one at a time. So do one arm going backwards for a couple of turns so that you get used to it. And then you can bring the other arm forward. So stay looking up, stay looking out in front of you, Let a bit of movement happen into the sides of your body. That's great. And then slow it down. And then the same thing. Make sure there's a bit of a gap between your feet. Make sure that when you turn, there's a bit of softness into the knees. You want them to sort of act a little bit like your shock absorbers. And when we bend the knees, when we lengthen the ligaments around the knee joint, there's a little opportunity for the knee to slightly twist. Obviously, we know that the knee joint is fairly unstable and we need to often look to protect it, look after it. But when we're doing this kind of movement and we put a little bit of a bend in the knee, I want you to just stand with your legs really straight now. I want you to lock the knees and just take a few movements. Notice how it goes higher up your back and you kind of lose the fluidity. So if you go back to bending your knees now, you'll feel the difference. Feel that this becomes a whole body movement. And the knees are just taking a little bit of the softness. They're just absorbing some of the uprightness of this. Good. And you know me, I love doing this. Okay, so come back slowly. And make some time to do this. Notice how it has made you feel already. So just close your eyes, breathe in and out, and enjoy. Okay, so we're going to put the hands on the back of the head. You can link the fingers or you can just have one hand on top of the other. I want you to then wrap the elbows around the sides of the head. Bring the chin towards the chest and just allow the head to gently fall forwards. You're not forcing this. You're not overhanging. You're not really yanking the head. Then what I want you to do is, as you breathe in, is to lift the nose, open the elbows out wide to the sides and open the upper chest as much as you can. Then gently, you're going to curl forward. So elbows hug the ears or the sides of the head, chin to the chest. Keep the legs straight. Breathe in, lifting and opening so the heart lifts, the nose lifts. Press the back heart, press the shoulder blades onto the back of the ribcage. And then gently curl forwards. Elbows wrap around the sides of the head. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. Good. And then gently releasing the arms, bringing them down by the sides of your body. And then palms together in front of your heart. Close your eyes. Just stand for a moment. And we give our practice a little bit of focus. So if there's something or someone you would like to practice for this morning, if you feel that they need the benefit or the energy of your practice, then that can help you to focus, help you to give you some internal energy. Okay. And then let's take an inhalation. Open the eyes and travel the hands straight up towards the ceiling. Look up towards your thumbs and then travel the hands down as you breathe out and you bend your knees. Remember, this is your first forward fold, so take your time. Come down slowly as you allow your spine and your pelvis to flex forwards. Allow the chin to come towards the chest and just hold this here, just hover it here. If you need to put something underneath your hands, like a block or something to give you a bit of height, that's okay. Please try to get some of your weight moving into your hands. And as you press into your hands, can you also press into your feet and start to lengthen the back of the legs up straight. So you're just opening the hamstrings, opening the back line of the body. Bend the knees and let the bottom drop down. Come down as low as you can and then slowly lift the sit bones up again. Press into the mat, let the head hang if you can. Breathing out gently, breathing in, I should say. Let the sit bones drop, squeeze the inner thighs and then breathing out, coming into your Uttanasana. Okay, now if you need to, you bring your hands a little bit further forwards. Your feet then will come back and we'll find a downward dog. So soften the knees, press into the hands, let the head hang in between your arms. Don't worry about what this looks like, just go into the feeling place. So pedal the heels, have a little sway of the hips from side to side. Remember, you're still very early in the morning. Some of you may not have actually even been out of bed for very long. You might be just still letting the body open up, wake up, finding some stretch, finding some space. Okay, let's pop the knees down onto the ground. Keep the toes tucked under, take the bottom backwards towards the heels. Press into the hands again and give the toes another stretch out. And then float your shoulders up over the wrists. And then you're going to engage your tummy muscles and hover your knees off of the floor, please. And you just stay here for a couple of breaths. Just breathe easily, breathe in and out. Make sure both knees are off of the floor. That's great. Not too high, so just an inch or two away from the ground. Press into the hands, lift the back of the heart slightly. Good. And then breathe in. As you breathe out, press into the hands so the arms get longer, extending the arms, let the head hang, and stretching back through the tailbone as you lengthen into downward dog again. Good. Float the knees forwards. Bring the knees onto the floor. This time, untuck the toes, take the bottom backwards towards the heels, and swoop through so that you're laying on your front. Make sure the legs are long, out behind you, and bring the hands down by your sides. Take a breath in, and as you breathe in, lift legs, lift upper body for Shalavasana. Beautiful. Breathe out, gently come down. Breathe in, Shalavasana again, couple more. Breathe out. Breathe in, lift up high. Breathe out, come down. One more time, breathe in. And out. Good. Pop your hands back underneath your shoulders, elbows in. Maybe tuck your toes under here if that helps you. Engage your tummy muscles, lift up like you're doing a reverse press up. Lift the knees, find yourself into downward dog. And then looking where your hands are and walk your feet forwards as you come up to the top of your mat. Hand down towards the ground, let the head hang. And then bring the hands to the heart as you breathe in, come all the way back up. Reaching the arms up, look thumbs above your head, firm legs. And exhale down, hands to heart. And bring the hands back down by your sides for mountain pose. Okay, so gaze forwards, just gather your breath. Notice how your body is feeling, whether things are feeling different, you're feeling stronger, more awake, more capable. Okay, so breathe in, hands to heart and lift them all the way back up, straight line. Breathe out, gently come down to the ground, hang the head forwards. Hands to shins, breathe in, lift halfway. So lift up, try to concave the lower back if you can. And then put the hands on the floor, step back to a plank position, please. Just hold this here, shoulders over the wrists. Make sure that you feel nice and long, nice and strong. Okay, let's take the right foot off of the floor. Hold this here. So press back through the left heel. Keep breathing, tummy strong. Keep lifting the back of the kidneys slightly, not letting the lower back dip too much. Tailbone lengthening towards the back of the mat. Breathe in, breathe out, hold for another breath. You've got this. Good job. Good. And then pop the right foot down slowly and take the left foot up. If you need to give the wrists a break, you can come onto the elbows, you can come onto the forearms. So please think about that. Please think about substituting a hand position if you need to. Just hold it, keep breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath. Good. And then pop the foot down, pop the knees down. Take the bottom back towards the heels. Give the wrists a little bit of a roll. Okay, so we're going to swoop into a cobra. Breathe in, take the head and the heart forwards. Lay the tummy on the floor. Lift yourself up, firm the legs, squeeze the glutes. And then gently come down. Inhale to hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Find yourself into a downward dog. Pause here. Find some softness within the strength. So pressing into the arms. Really thinking about extending the arms longer and longer and longer. So taking all of your energy from the press of the palms into the floor, up and on the sides of the body towards the outer hips as you allow the sit bones to lift, tailbone to lift, and then heels to lower a little bit if you've got that space, if you've got that length along the back of your legs. Good, let's take the right foot up into the air. Let's breathe in here. As we breathe out, float shoulders over the wrists. Bring the right knee to the outer right elbow. Bring as far forwards as you can. Breathe in, take the foot all the way back up to the ceiling. Stretch it up. Breathe out, bring the knee forwards to the outer right elbow again. And then place the foot on the floor, on the outside of your right hand. Leave it there. Maybe turn the left fingers out to the sides and take the right arm up to the ceiling. Reach up through the right fingertips. So you've got your right leg forwards. That's it. And you're spinning around. Press back through the left heel. Good. Breathe in and out. Lovely. Lower down. Step back. Right foot all the way up into the air, please. Three-legged downward dog. And then lower the foot to the floor. Left foot, breathe it in. Come all the way up. As you breathe out, float shoulders over the wrists, knee to outer left elbow. Really crunch up the tummy if you can. Breathe in, foot lifts. Three-legged dog. Breathe out, foot, knee comes to outer elbow first, and then foot lays on the floor. Outside of the left hand. You can turn your right fingers out to the sides a little bit if that helps. And then taking the left hand up to the sky. Pressing back through the right leg nice and straight, heel is back. Nice, keep breathing. Okay, one more breath. And lowering down, stepping back, three-legged dog pose, so left foot all the way up, and then foot comes down. Press into down dog, float your shoulders over the wrists, high plank. Knees come down to the floor, turn the inner elbows forwards, lower the chin, and then bring the whole body onto the floor, untuck the toes, lift up to cobra. Squeeze the legs, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes. Make the legs do the work here. And then gently come down. Good. Come up to all fours. Tuck toes to downward dog. And then looking forwards, walk your feet towards the top of your mat. Hang down into Uttanasana. Breathe in, come all the way up. Hands travel up. Reach up. And then breathe out. Bring hands back down by your sides. Just gather your breath. Press the pause button. That's what we like. We like layers coming off. Very nice. Good. Okay. All right. So we're going to bring in a little bit of balance now. We're going to work the glutes a little bit more. Okay. So let's breathe in. Bring the hands up all the way above your head. And then separate your hands, please. So the palms are facing each other, the hands are shoulder width apart. Take your body weight into your left leg, bend your right knee and bring your foot up in front of you. Stretching your leg out straight if you can. If you can't, just have your knee bent, it's fine. Okay, now bend the knee. Bend the left knee, and it's as though you're doing a figure of four. You can bring your hands to your heart, and I want you to sit down as low as you can into this figure of 4 squat. Don't worry if you're wobbly. Just pause here, breathe in, lift up the knee, lift up the hands, and then float into warrior 3. So right leg goes back, fingers go forwards, or they can be on your hips. Good job. Now gently bend the left knee, drop the right foot to the end of your mat and lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Breathe in here, breathe out, bring the hands to the heart, wiggle the right toes even further back so you're extra long, and then drop the right knee almost to the floor. Bring it back up, good, and then come down again. Bring it back up one more time, and down. Nice, and then come back up. Good, okay. Reaching forwards now with your hands. So the right toes stay tucked under, the left knee is bent, and then using that, hover your right foot back up off of the floor. Bring the foot together, so both feet are together at the top of the mat. The hands come to the heart. That's really nice. Now lift the heels off of the floor so you can come into a lower squat position. Bring the hands all the way up above your head. And then reaching down, so lowering fingertips to the floor. And I want you to open the knees out wide apart as they will go. And see if you can come to balance on the outer edges of your feet. This isn't everybody's cup of tea. You've got to try to get as much edge of the foot onto the floor, and the soles of the feet come to sort of touch like a bit like a pyramid, okay? So you could bring the right big toe joints to touch, outer edges of the feet, and you're really trying to sink into here, and you're strengthening your ankles quite a lot. Okay, so then gently bring the knees back together. Ooh, it might, if you've had a broken bone in your foot, if you've had stuff going on in your feet that means that they're a bit tender or a bit sensitive, I would probably leave that bit out. Okay, so legs are together, squeeze the inner thighs, lift the sit bones, let the head hang, and then soften the knees as you bring yourself all of the way back up. Bring the hands up above your head, separate the hands, body weight into the right leg. Float the left knee off of the floor. Straighten the leg out in front of you if you can. Breathe in. Bend the right knee. Cross the left over the top. Bring the hands to the heart and see if you can come down into this figure of 4 squat. Maybe your elbows can come and touch onto your left lower leg. Come back up again. Bring the hands up, the knee up in front of you. And then pivot forwards into warrior 3. So left leg back, right hands forward, both hands forward. You can have hands onto your hips. Remind yourself to keep this area of your pelvis nice and balanced. Stretch back firmly, long through the left leg, and then come back up again. Bring the arms up, bring the knee up, and then pop the foot back down. Okay, hands come down, bend the knees. Folding forwards again, coming all the way down into this low squat. Knees open out wide. Make your adjustments like a Malasana if you want to. Remember, for Malasana, we put the heels together and turn the toes out. But if you can, get your bottom to come backwards a little bit more. So you're more onto the outer edges of your feet. It's no mean feet. It's a bit tricky. Okay, and then bring yourself back upright. Place your hands on the floor. Take your feet just a tiny bit further back, and then I want you to do 5 bunny hops, okay? So make sure you've got some space in front of you, and you're going to lift up, try and keep your knees close to your chest. So, and tap your heels onto your bottom. So 2 more. Good. Now this time jump all the way back. High plank. Good job. Feet wide. All the way out off of the sides of your mat. If you can go really far, really wide with this, go for it. Left hand underneath your face. Take your right hand up to the ceiling. Look up. Nice. Come back down. Right hand lowers, left hand lifts. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Pop your hands back underneath your shoulders, bend your knees, and jump your feet to the outside edges of your mat. So jump forwards, come down into a low squat if you can, so your feet are really wide apart, and then jump back. Okay, so your feet are not on your mat. Bend your knees, jump forwards, and jump back. One more time, jump forwards, then drop the bottom as low as you can, and then jump back. Good, bring your feet back onto the floor, onto your mat, pop your knees down, bottom backwards towards the heels and swoop through, hands down by your sides. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, gently come down. Breathe in again, lifting up. Breathe out, come down. One more time, breathe in, come up and stay up, please. See if you can keep squeezing the glutes, squeezing the thighs, squeezing the inner thighs, lengthening the legs, lengthening the fingertips, breathing. Good job. One more breath. And then hands underneath, legs come down, lift up, downward dog. All right, let's look forwards. If you've got a jump in you, go for it, but if not, just walk your feet up, hands to heart, come all the way up to stand. Lovely, release the hands wide this time. Good, and just settle, stand, gather your breath. Very nice. Okay, bring your hands to your heart. Link your fingers, maybe point your index finger. This bit is optional, so if you've got any issue in your shoulders, keep your hands apart, keep them shoulder width apart. Okay, so we're pointing through the index finger, heel of the hands stay together. Let's take a breath in and reach the hands up. Hug the hug the sides of the ears with the upper arms. Squeeze the inner thighs, send the hips forwards, lift the heart up, and see if you can point your fingers. Imagine that 12 o'clock is above your head. You want to take it to sort of 1 o'clock that's behind you. Okay, see if you can find 1 o'clock with the point of your fingers. So imagine that your clock face is sort of on its side, if that makes sense. Some of you might be able to find 2 o'clock. Okay. Gently bring the hands back up to 12 o'clock, then 11, then 10, and I want you to keep that there. Take your body weight into your right leg, float your left knee off of the floor, bend the left and the right knee. Hover forwards, and as though you keep pointing your fingers at your 10 o'clock position, keep lengthening the arms, stretch the left leg back, and drop the left foot to the floor. Now from 10 o'clock, turn your fingers to point at 11 o'clock and really reach the fingers far forward, so your pointy fingers. So I want you to feel as though you're reaching out of the back of your rib cage from here. Press back through the left heel, point forwards through the fingertips. That's really nice. Good, and then bring your hands back to your heart. Spin your left heel down to the floor and lift both arms up for warrior two. Very nice. Good. Take a reverse warrior, breathe in, reach up. As you breathe out, cartwheel, forward arm onto the thigh, left arm alongside the ear. From here, spin your body and lift your left heel. So both hands have come forwards. Point through your pointy finger again. Breathe in, come up. Go past 11 o'clock. Go up to 12 o'clock. Pause here if that feels an appropriate depth for you. Or if you want to go to 1 o'clock with your fingers pointing, go for it. Good, take a breath in. As you breathe out, bring your fingers down, hands down in front of your heart. Travel the hands down to the floor and step back to downward dog. Good job. Float shoulders over the wrists, either chaturanga or knees, chin, chest. You can come up into cobra or upward dog. and then down, back into downward dog. Good. Okay, if you've got to jump, go for it. Look at your thumbs, bend your knees and hop forwards. And then fold down. Up to stand, breathe in. Link the fingers, point through your pointy fingers. Squeeze the inner thighs and lift the chest, look up to 1 o'clock. Come back forwards, lower the hands to about 10 o'clock. So not horizontal, just a little bit higher. Body weight into the left leg, bend the left knee, and when you're ready, start to take the right foot back, stretch the leg, straighten the leg, and then drop it to the floor. Now take the hands back up to 11 o'clock and really reach out of the side of the rib cage as you press back through the right heel. So you've got your movement, your body is stretching in these opposite directions. Lovely stuff. Keep breathing. Good. And then lower forwards, reach forwards. That's really nice. And then we'll cartwheel from here to warrior two. Spin the right heel down, arms come to horizontal, bend the left knee some more. Nice. Reverse your warrior, breathe in. And float forearm onto thigh, breathe out. Good. Come back to warrior two. And we'll find our hands coming forwards again. Spinning up the right heel, pointing forwards, lifting the hands, reaching, and then use that momentum. See if you can float the right foot off of the floor, hold it, hold it, hold it, and then bring the foot down, lift the hands all of the way up, and come to 1 o'clock with your pointy fingers, and then gently lower hands down to bring them in front of your heart. Good. Hands reach down by your sides. Okay, so we're going to finish that with one sun salute and then we'll do some stretches to finish. So breathe in. Let's bring arms wide. Come all the way down. Breathe out. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Hands to the top of the mat. Step back. Chaturanga or knees, chin, chest. Cobra or up dog. Firm the legs, heart forwards. Breathe out to gently come to downward dog. Pressing into the hands and just pressing and holding. Then looking forwards, look to where your thumbs are, make your way to the top of your mat. Breathe in. As you breathe out, fold down. As you breathe in again, come all the way up. And bring the hands to the heart as you breathe out. Close your eyes, settle your breath, and breathe. Okay, good job everybody. Okay, so just make sure that you've got some space behind you on your mat. Have your feet together, lift your heels a little bit if you need to, and start to come down into a low squat position and just hover the bottom, not quite onto the heels, not quite off the heels. Good. And then bring the hands forwards. You can point through your pointy finger again, and you can reach forwards as you use your tummy muscles to control you to come to sit. Now, some of you will find this easy, some of you won't. I just find it like I collapse down onto the floor. Use your hands to support you if you need to. Okay, so we're going to reach really far forwards with our pointy fingers. And as we reach, as we lower down, we're going to lower, 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 and then the hands come up and point away at the opposite end. You can separate your feet here if you need to, or you can keep your ankles and knees together. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, lift up, see if you can get yourself all the way back up to sitting, pointing the fingers forwards. That's great. And then slowly with control, coming all of the way back down and the hands coming out behind you and up again. So let's see whether we can do 10 of these. You might need to get some momentum going. Use the arms to help you. Good. And when you come up, really reach as far forwards as you can. Good. 4 more. 3, 2, last one, reach and then lower. Now lower halfway, float feet off of the floor, point feet, match the arm length to the angle to the leg position. Draw the belly in, hold this, breathe, breathe, breathe. Good, and then lower, 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 and release. Well done. Bend your knees, feet as wide apart as your mat, and rock your knees from sides to side. Okay. Good job. All right, so let's come back to a neutral position. Lift both feet up off of the floor towards the ceiling, flex the ankles. Arms up, point through your pointy fingers again. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, curl up as though you're trying to touch your fingers onto your toes. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in and out. You can reverse the breath actually. I breathe out to lift up, breathe in to come down. Keep going. Halfway, do 5 more, please. 3 more. 2. Last one, you've got this. And relax. Good job. Have a hug in of the knees and a little rock from side to side. Straighten out your left leg. Take your right knee, keep it bent, take it across to the left-hand side of the mat. Keep your right shoulder towards the ground if you can. And just pause for a moment, a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a rotation. Maybe you can feel this in the glute, maybe keep the right leg closer in towards you for more twist. Okay, and then come back to the center. Slide the right leg away, hug the left knee in. Take it across to the right. Left shoulder, keep it on the ground. And then come back. Good job. Okay. Take the arms up above your head. Bend your left elbow and wrap it around the right arm. Just pull the right arm across to the left, just so you give your shoulder a little bit of a stretch. And then come back to center. Hold it, do the same on the opposite side. So wrap your right arm around your tricep and just pull the arm across your body to the left. Okay, and come back and release and bring the hands down by your sides. Turn your toes out. Just pause for a minute. Maybe the head is heavy, the jaw is soft, the eyes are closed. Now, if you have time for a longer shavasana, if you want a longer shavasana, feel free to pause the video and allow yourself to take as much time as you need. For those of you that have got to get off and get up to do other stuff, if I don't catch you at the end, have a fabulous day, enjoy the sunshine, if you get that opportunity. For those that are going to end the class with me, we'll just stay here for another couple of breaths. Just letting the body become still and appreciating all of the work that this body has done for us in the last few minutes. Okay. And then I'd like you to remove fingers and toes. Stretch arms alongside your ears, lengthen front body. Then bend your knees, roll yourself over to one side and come round and up to sit. Sitting cross-legged. Good, fingertips to the floor. Take a lovely big breath in and bring the hands up above your head. And breathe out, bring the hands down. Let them rest in front of your heart. Close your eyes, bow your chin towards your chest. And just bring to mind the person, the object that you placed your attention into at the start of the practice. And whatever benefit you feel you have received, send it out into the universe to mingle with their energy so that they may share in the benefits too. Okay, so take another breath in, open your eyes, well done. Namaste to you all, and have a wonderful rest of the day.